Take a walk with me in Mississauga while I answer 5 questions that you should be asking if you're looking to buy a condo anywhere, not just Mississauga. It's going to help you tremendously. These 5 questions I answer all the time, and they are very good questions, and you should definitely be asking them if you're looking to buy a condo. So the first one is, how much will this maintenance fee increase? This is a dreaded question, and the answer is simple. Nobody actually knows, but you can calculate it based on the rate of inflation. Generally speaking, when inflation is high, the services required to run the building, the cost of that also goes up. So maintenance fees naturally will also go up at the rate roughly of inflation. Now, if things are standard and inflation is not so crazy, they usually increase at a rate of about 2 to 5%, I can say, roughly annually. Not always, but that's a pretty good rule of thumb. So bottom line is, you'll never actually know how much they'll increase, but you can try to gauge it by the rate of inflation. The misconception is that older buildings have much higher maintenance fees and it's going to go up so much more because it's so much older. And quite frankly, that simply is just not true. Many older buildings have a very strong reserve fund, so those maintenance fees, they're not going to change much. And if they do, it's minimal many times. Now, there are some older buildings that have horrible maintenance fees and sky high, but generally speaking, an older building will have a very strong reserve fund. They figured out a lot of problems in the building, and that maintenance fee, many times, especially in the Square One area, some of these older buildings have much better maintenance fees than newer buildings. And it includes a lot of things, which we'll talk about in another question. So bottom line, nobody really knows how much these maintenance fees will increase. It always goes up 2 to 4 to 5% annually. And if inflation is high, then your maintenance fee will also go up quite a bit, roughly at the rate of inflation. Number 2, what does the maintenance fee actually cover? That's a very good question. And every building that you see around me is a little bit different, okay? So if you want a few rules of thumb, I will tell you. The newer buildings, nothing is covered, just your insurance, okay? Building insurance. You still need your own content insurance. So no utilities, usually speaking, in these newer buildings. Water, heat, hydro, all that is separately billed, and you pay your maintenance fee plus that. If you go a little bit older, like 15 to 20-year condos, 20-year-old condos, then you're usually getting at least heat included, heat, and sometimes even water, many times water. So heat and water is included in your maintenance fee, and then you might just have to pay your hydro bill, okay? And then if you go even older than that, like 40-year-old buildings, condos, then many times you're getting all the utilities included, even internet. So you'll get heat, hydro, water, internet, insurance, all of that in your maintenance fee in the older buildings. So that's how you should break it down. New, nothing is included. Medium range, like 15, 20 years old, some utilities are included. And then the older you get, you should be getting all the utilities included. In that. Not always, but many of the older buildings, they will include all the utilities. So that's kind of how you should break it up when you're thinking about, what is included in these maintenance fees, okay? Just remember, brand new buildings, they might start off with a lower maintenance fee. They might have a very good maintenance fee, but you're not getting anything included. You still got to add the cost of all your utilities in that, right? So it's not actually lower, as opposed to another building that might be slightly higher, but you're getting utilities in there, right? You do the math and see what works better. And also the newer buildings are more expensive, I have to say that. And there's much better value in these older buildings, and they're bigger units. Number 3, is this building financially healthy? Nobody really asks that, but I'll tell you, you will know that before the deal goes firm. There's something called a status certificate, and we review that before you actually firm up on any condo deal. You'll ask for the status certificate from the seller. The seller will request it from the management. The management will provide it to you and your agent. The agent will pass it along to the lawyer, and the buyer side will review this. And in that, you will see how financially healthy the building is. And the main thing they look at is their reserve fund. How much money do they have saved in the reserve fund? So from the outside, when you start your preliminary search, there's really no way for you to know how their maintenance fee is. You got to kind of wait till you actually get the status certificate. So we got some noise in the background, and there's Rabba right behind me. That's a pretty good deal. In this building, this is 4080, 4090 Living Arts. Anyways, let's just walk past this for a second. And you can get a nice view of what's around. That's the Exchange District behind me. So the reserve fund is something that you're not actually going to know until you put your offer in. You've gotten the status certificate, and now you're going to review that status certificate with your lawyer and your realtor. And they only look at a few lines, but that's where you'll find out exactly how financially healthy the building is. And if it's not financially healthy, that's a red flag. You shouldn't buy it. Those are the buildings you should not buy. Anything else, I don't care about. But, well, I do, but financial health for a condo, that is going to be one of the most important things in your decision making when you buy a condo. But again, remember, that is not a preliminary step. That step comes after you've put the offer in. It's a conditional offer. You review the status certificate. If you're not satisfied with the status certificate, you can back out of the transaction, right? If it's not financially healthy to your standards. But there's some other things you should note, that it's not just the reserve fund. Sometimes if there's lawsuits against management or somebody in the corporation of that condo, that can drastically increase your maintenance fee as well if insurance won't cover those type of lawsuits. So that's another item that they'll look at. Another thing is they might have enough money in the reserve fund, but they also have an unexpected repair that will drain that reserve fund. So, it's a whole outlook on the financial health of the building that you kind of have to look at. The whole picture, not just the reserve fund, but that is a big part of it. But you have to look at, will that reserve fund stay sufficient? Because once it's depleted or it goes down because of some unexpected expenses or anything like that, then you will have to pay a higher maintenance fee, because that's how they get that money. They get it from the maintenance fee. And number 4, the fourth question, and this is a good one that you should ask, will this condo be easy for me to sell in the future? You have to think about that, because not all condos are easy sales. Some condos are not even easy to rent. So you have to look at what kind of future potential does it have. And really it comes down to the price you paid. If you're not overpaying, hopefully, then you should be able to sell it and make some money if the market is on an upward trend. But if it has a lot of curves, angles, you can't put your furniture in there, there's no balcony, there's no parking, all these things can affect you in the future when you're looking to sell it. So you should always buy a condo that you feel will be an easy sale and an easy rent in the future. And these are some of the factors that you would be looking at is, the layout is one, the location is the other, and the building itself, how healthy is the building, and what else can I say? That's pretty much it, is layout, price, location. It has to be attractive. And me personally, if I'm buying a condo, I want some feature in there that's not so cookie cutter. I don't know what it may be. And not so cookie cutter in condo still is cookie cutter, because a lot of these special features like big windows or wraparound balcony, stuff like that, you'll see in a lot of condos. But those are good features to have. Those are features people will always want. Those are features that not every condo will have. 9-foot ceilings, 10-foot ceilings, terrace, stuff like that. A 1-bedroom with 2 washrooms or a 2-bedroom with 3 washrooms, stuff like that. These are features that will make it easier for you to sell or rent in the future. So this is very important. You should always think about the future when you're buying a condo and see how easy it is for me to offload this if I have to, or get it rented. Because many people, when they buy a condo and they're done with it, they'll rent it out because their mortgage has gone down so much. They can maybe make a little or break even. It was very affordable. They were able to save money, and then they moved on from the condo, but they don't want to sell it. They keep it within their portfolio. And the 5th question that you should always definitely be asking is, should you buy a new condo or an older condo? This is my opinion after 20 years in the game, and I don't think new condos are the way to go, especially nowadays. They are way overpriced. You could get much better deals in the older condos. The sweet spot is 15 to 20 years old. You can get much, much better deals in those condos. You get bigger layouts, lower price point, better maintenance fees, and there are utilities included in those maintenance fees. Personally, I don't think you can go wrong. Also, from the outside, they look very similar to a brand new building. The list goes on. In my opinion, don't focus on new and flashy when you're looking to buy a condo. I think that 15 to 20 year mark, you'll get the best of both worlds, whatever older condos get and whatever newer condos get. And really, if it's well kept, it's going to look and feel just like a brand new condo. So these are the 5 things that I think every buyer needs to ask if they're condo shopping in the GTA. My name is Athar Jafri. I work with Remax. I'm a broker. I've been doing this for 20 years. Make sure you subscribe. And if you have any questions about the buying and selling process, or about Square One, Mississauga, Toronto, GTA, just drop a comment below and I'll be sure to get to them.